spoke about how digital customer experience is. We'll also would like to drill down further, like what all things you can do next when you figure out that you need to improve. And I would let Prakash introduce himself.
Yeah, so I'm Prakash. I'm part of the solution consultant team here in Relic, and I think Aakanksha introduced herself. We have very interesting topic for you today, and I, along with Aakanksha, will be walking you through with the interesting topic that we have for next 20-25 minutes or so, which is basically shifting left and how do you use that shift left and the Neuralink solutions like Codestream, error inbox, right? So, yeah, do we have, okay, already. So in terms of the agenda, we have very short and precise agenda in terms of, we want to talk about what shift left is and how does it matter for you, how you should go and adopt that shift left process, how does Neuralink enables this shift left process for you and how easy it is for you to get started with it. And before I move to next slide, just wanted to understand how many of us are having some sort of development experience, or maybe obviously are developers as well. Okay, I see a good amount of hands going up. Do you all know what shift left is all about? Yeah, you're not exactly right, but you have your basics clear. But obviously, so shift left is basically a process or uh, uh, a thing that you do in terms of identifying and reducing the bugs or the issues that you have within your application in the early part of your software development process that you have, right? It's basically you want all of your bugs to be identified, fixed before your application is getting live, right? That's what shift left is. Now, you all may say that as a developer, we do take care of a lot of things, right? But why do we, think about shifting left, right? Is it one more thing that we have to think about? Certainly not much of an effort from you guys. It's just that it's one of the things, if you go and implement, it will basically result into a better developer productivity and your customer experience eventually. And I'll be going through the same in next couple of slides in terms of what it basically does and how does it helps you in terms of building the better software, right? Now, we all know that when the bugs are added to the software, right, or when we are trying to build the application, or basically the developers are writing the code, most of the bugs get introduced at that point in time, right? It's like 85% or so bugs which are basically introduced when a developer is writing code, right? That's correct, right? Now, if we come to the next part of the process, again, here's the irony that though the bugs are introduced in the initial part of the software development process, but they are only discovered when we are into the later part, right? Most of the time it's near to the release that we have for our software, right? That's something that is the irony with the process, that we build and have bugs in the earlier part, but we only discover when we do QA and the other validations of the software, right? Now, certainly, okay, sorry, now what's the impact of fixing bug at the later point in time, right? We all see that the later or delay that we bring in terms of identifying these bugs and fixing the bugs, obviously we all know that, right? If the bell curve is on the right hand side, we actually pay more for the bugs, right? That's okay.
So just to summarize this.
No, I have some context to add here as well. So we all know that though we say, right, the cost is on the higher side, but why is it that so? Now, most of these sprints that we have generally works like we have like a 15-day sprint, a monthly, or maybe a quarterly sprint, right? Right, that's how it is right now. For example, I was not exactly a developer, but I used to write scripts in terms of doing certain deployment activities, wanted to automate much of it. And if someone comes to me and say, what is the thing that you have written 6 months back, can you give me more context about it? I want to suggest something. Now, you all would be like, right, 6 months back is too long for me to go and remember, right, what was the situation, what were the things that I was going through, or what the article which I referred, which eventually turned out me into writing that script, right? Obviously, I'll not have much of content, and I would be like spending more time in trying to recollect what I did at that point in time. Now, similarly, if I have the same questions when I have like, say, a week or 15 days when I have those scripts written in, obviously I'll have better context, I'll take input more graciously, and I'll be able to spend a little bit of time and fixing that bug or whatever issue or suggestion that I get from my counterpart in terms of with respect to the code, right? So earlier it is, as a developer, it is easy for me to recollect and fix rather than going back in time and then trying to analyze what's what needs to be done.
Yeah, so to summarize this, the longer it takes to identify the bug, the longer developers need to spend more time, and that kind of impacts the productivity. And you can see it's not linear, it's basically exponential impact on the development aspect.
Yeah, bang on, Aakanksha. I think you have nailed that with the exact statement. Now, what if we could bend the curve, which we basically signifies the time when we fix the bug, right? Now, what if we can bend this bug to the left hand side so that obviously we'll have what lesser impact on the fixing the bugs, right? Cost to fix the bug, right? That's something that obviously is something that we would want to do. But that's not the only thing that you get as a part of shifting left. Obviously, what else you get when you shift left? Yes. So basically, though you get benefits obviously on the costing side, but you also get a better developer productivity, a better experience with your software, and end of the day, right, a better customer experience, right? That is what we all are looking out for, right? Having our customers to have a better experience with whatever apps that we are building for them to use, right? Now, that is what was all about shifting left. Now what from New Relic we have in terms of assisting you in terms of making that move to shift left is we have solutions like Codestream and Error Inbox, which predominantly helps you in terms of getting the insights on how your application is performing, right? We all know that New Relic does provide insights in terms of the latency, telemetry data, errors, and everything, right? But that's on the New Relic dashboard, right? We all are aware of that, right? New Relic shows everything about application right into your dashboards that you log into New Relic console. Now, what we did, we actually partnered and acquired Codestream a year back, and we had kind of built a tight integration with the Codestream, which basically enables us to share the similar insights that we have on New Relic dashboards for the developer community as well, which obviously they are not aware of how their code is performing, what are the production errors that their code is getting generated, how their functions and everything that they have written is performing in production, right? They just don't have that visibility. Now that is what Codestream does. It basically brings in whatever telemetry data and whatever the collaboration that we have across various tools that developer leverage in terms of Git, communication, collaboration, all of those tools along with the New Relic telemetry insights as well, right? So you can actually see right next to the code that you have written how latency that code is actually generating for your application, or if there are any errors, what are those exactly errors that are being generated by the code that you have written, right? It's basically bringing in visibility for the developers without for them logging into the New Relic console, right? So that's basically the Codestream and Error Inbox in terms of giving you those insights into your IDE. And the other thing which New Relic has kind of enabled is a simple pricing strategy. In terms of why it's simple is because most of the time, because of the commercial angle attached to the solutions, you generally instrument your production environment, right? You don't instrument your dev or any environment which is basically not production, right? You only want to have your production being monitored and and looked after, right? You don't have any solution which basically monitors your non-prod infra as well. Generally, it's because of the commercial, right? Now with New Relic, what we have done is we haven't have any limitation in terms of you going and instrumenting in terms of X number of hosts or X number of environments, right? We don't charge you based on that. We only charge you for the amount of data that you send to New Relic, and that's where you basically get charged. Obviously, the charge of data is obviously very industry lowest, but the benefit that you get by instrumenting your non-prod environment, we all know that, right? Development environment or environment which is basically not in production will not have larger quantum of data, right? They'll all be data which you would be generating with certain load testing, certain integration or testing that you would do, right? And we all expect that volume to be low. But what you get from instrumenting those environments is whatever early fixes, early bugs, early issues that you have with your applications are all taken care within the dev and UAT cycle, and they basically don't roll over to your production environment. And that's where the pricing as well as the feature that New Relic, right, brings right into the developer IDE, where he basically spends most of the time to assist your shift left process, right? Now we did a lot of talking. I think I'll ask Aakanksha to get into some demo and showcase a couple of scenarios where you as a developer would be using Codestream and getting these insights from the New Relic.
Thanks, Prakash, for sharing the insights. So I guess most of the folks know what is errors inbox, and just to summarize it, it's basically you can see all the errors, let it be your front end, your back end, all the services that are instrumented. You can see all the errors in your errors inbox, and here with Codestream, we can actually help developers to just quickly understand what actually went wrong with the code, why do we see error, which line do we see error. So if you log into your account and just select errors inbox, you'll be able to actually click on this, and this helps you to see what is a occurrence, if you have peak hours issue or otherwise. And you can also have a quick look at what are the more details associated to it. For instance, here you can actually go to your IDE, and you can also take a look at the logs associated to that particular error for that one particular instance. And likewise, you can understand different attributes if you have any custom attributes in place. You can also take a look at the discussion if there was any previous notes associated to that you can see over here. You can add here itself. Now these are the things you can do on your New Relic account itself. What if developer wants to take a look at it? For that, they can just click on open an IDE, and here you can see different kinds of IDE that we support for Codestream. All you need to do is just add Codestream extension, and here you can select the repository. So if you have different entities configured, different app configured, you can just select one out of those and just select that particular entity. Now this will help you to correlate to that particular error. So if I click over here, I can quickly understand that it's because of this particular function that is having issue. And then you can actually collaborate here itself. You can actually add comments, tag people over here, and this will help you to, for instance, if I just want to type anyone from New Relic accounts, I can just add it over here. And this is not just for Codestream, you can also have other integrations. So you can actually take a look at if you have any particular integration that you would like to do, you can actually see that over here. For instance, if you want to see what all integrations we have, we can actually take a look at this. Like we can do a pull request from GitHub. You can also have your Jira in place and take a look at it. And you can also click over here and go back to your application itself on the New Relic portal. Another thing that you can do is understand how the performance of functions look like. Now this is what we spoke about, performance metrics. And if I click over here, I can actually see how the performance looks like. Here you can see how the function is trending with the response time. And you can actually further share it with your concerned person, you can actually take a look at it on New Relic itself, tag it over there to take a look at further. And that's how you can collaborate using Codestream, take a look at the code itself. Now, how you can actually enable it? We have a paid New Relic user account, which is full stack and core user. You can actually leverage those accounts, get Codestream plugin in your ID, like how I shared, and all you need is a user API key, and you can just instrument your application as we just shared over here. You can also try New Relic Codestream from GitHub. Feel free to share, take a look at this, and that's all from our side.
Yeah. These are our coordinates. In case if you have questions and follow-up queries, yeah, please do reach out.